One of the wonderful things that complexity helps us with is being able to look and examine and analyze something from different angles and facets. So if you think of a crystal, you can all imagine a crystal. It's got many corners and facets. So I think what we've experienced and seen and heard here today has probably got more than a dozen facets that you can actually view and approach it from. And each of those facets has its own frameworks and underlying theories and everything.
I think it was just so amazing the first time we visited the farm to see these ideas and these concepts in action, and to have that as a kind of a backdrop in your mind when you also start thinking and writing and talking about these things. So just to sort of little balloons going up into the cloud, is to maybe, we wanted to sort of also use this opportunity to think about these ideas that we often think, and that's what I learned the first time from Dr. Cluver, is the ideas that what we think usually are the drivers of change are not the drivers of change.
But what struck me is part of it all because we want apples of the same size in a packet. And then I started thinking, is it actually we want apples of the same size in the packet? Or is it actually those supermarkets and so on who've converted us to feeling we need this kind of delivery? And, does it matter if we actually have maybe different tastes, you mentioned, but does it, why not sell apples as they come from nature?
So if you're kind of a powerful buyer, you can actually also drive change.
All supermarkets want traceability, which means that if you buy a fruit and you go back and you claim that you become sick, they want to be able to trace that fruit back to the orchard. Now you can think how complicated that is. And then they want the history of what that orchard, how it has been treated. All right? And you get audited on that every year. Okay. So they've got immense power in that we've got every year we are subjected to a whole bunch of audits, which include the environmental audit, the ethical audit, how you treat people, audit on health and safety and your equipment.
What you're talking now about, like the global value chains and the way that supermarkets work, is in such a complex world, people just want to avoid taking on responsibility and risk. So we're always externalizing the responsibility for things going wrong. So when you're talking about traceability, nobody wants to be culpable for things going wrong, for being a bad apple, having a bad apple, or selling a bad apple.
Was this idea of variability, which is kind of a central principle of resilience and healthy ecosystems and healthy social ecological systems. And having spent today with how we're trying to sort of get rid of variability, to have the same colors and the same sizes, and what does that mean for resilience? It was just something I was struck by in that very clean and ordered sorting area. And just Carl and Steve Carpenter's paper on the importance of some variability for system resilience.
What became abundantly clear is that if you buy fresh produce anywhere in the world, because it can be traced to its origin, it's also possible to, from the fruit, know what kind of micropollutants you have in the water, which is detrimental to our economy and export potential in the long run. So our director, for instance, Professor Gideon Wolfhard, will say we've got 10 years max. We have to compete with the likes of Chile, for instance, who have fresh water from the ice peaks when it melts.
I think prediction is mainly a waste of time. Predictions are always wrong. So just about nothing that we have today could we have predicted 20 years ago. If you look at the role of computing and the role of internet on our lives, it was unimaginable before it was there. Okay, you simply couldn't imagine the impact.
I come to complexity as an ecologist a long time ago, And I was struck by both the story that Dr. Cluver was talking about, as well as in my other job, where we're starting a learning journey in the Sahel on conflict and instability and protracted crises. And sort of trying to look at the causality and from a complexity perspective, and how geopolitics and economics seem to be the most unpredictable, most important causalities in both of these systems, apples and protracted crises. And I guess as an ecologist, I'm wondering, where is the ecosystem in these stories? You know, is it really the most predictable part, the most reliable part, or is what's happening just invisible? Are we externalizing all of this stuff and making it invisible?
A bit related to that on the issue of variability, though, I was thinking a little bit more on some of the things like with the variability in the exchange rates and other variabilities that you had also been mentioning, and how, in a sense, before maybe we had these agricultural boards that could help actually buffer that. So we had institutions that could somehow help with that.
The whole idea of ecosystem service is a really quite a new idea. That there is a value in conservation. Instead of, but there's no economic value out of this, why don't you just throw it up? Even if it doesn't produce much, it produces something. And that's a very important switch to make. So you actually have to produce more from less and conserve more.
If you think of all the things that we eat and consume, and this is just an apple, that seems simple. Then just think what some of these other products are looking like.
I'm skeptical. I don't do belief systems. All belief systems have apocalyptic ends. Right. Whether you're whether you're an environmental believer or whether you support the Pope, it all has apocalyptic ends.
And I've seen all of these principles here today. Polycentric governance is how we can collaborate, how we need to draw on all these different facets of farming and management and all the different aspects. We have broadened participation, we have encouraged learning, we have foster complex adaptive systems thinking, manage slow variables and feedbacks, those are the different political and cultural and business and climate things, manage connectivity, so how do our networks allow us to do this, what we do, and that we can only do this through our networks, and maintain diversity and redundancy and like all the different skills and methods and approaches that you have to harness. And a lot of that is also for me is the inspiration that you as a person are bringing that to the table from your own personal journey and how you've harnessed all of this to be able to share this with us today. Thank you very much. This is just a really personal little